Hello and welcome to Weekly News Highlights with me, Hasina Momtaz. Here are your top stories for this week. In a chilling morning on Thursday, the US suspended trade privileges for Bangladesh after a 6-year review exposed serious shortcomings in safety and labour standards. The decision means that tariffs will be placed back on some of Bangladesh's exports to the US markets under the programme known as the Generalised System of Preferences or GSP. However, the scheme does not apply to Bangladesh's main export, garments. The suspension underlines the lack of progress by the government in improving factory conditions. The Obama administration plans to initiate new discussions with the Bangladeshi government on steps to improve the working environment so that GSP benefits can be restored and disasters like the Rana Plaza collapse and the Tazreen factory fire can be prevented. Deputy National Security Advisor for International Economic Affairs Michael Froman said, "There's no particular timetable in mind. The suspension will be effective 60 days after the publication of the proclamation in the Federal Register." Analysts say the suspension of trade benefits will put pressure on Bangladesh to improve working conditions in garment factories. It also comes as a reminder to big American retailers like Walmart and Gap of the need to sign the Building and Fire Safety Accord, which pledges to finance factory upgrades in Bangladesh. The move came after the United States' largest trade union, the American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organization, filed a petition with the USTR in 2007 questioning Bangladesh's eligibility for GSP. The main opposition party in Bangladesh, the BNP, has demanded that the army be deployed to ensure fair and peaceful elections in the Ghazipur City Corporation elections. The BNP Standing Committee member MK Anwar said on Sunday that the ruling Awami League has become very anxious after its recent losses in 4 city corporation polls. He said that the Awami League are worried and may try to use muscle power in the Ghazi Power polls. Under the circumstances, we demand army deployment there during the elections. The former minister was talking to reporters after putting the demand to the Chief Election Commissioner at the Election Commission Secretariat. He also alleged that the ruling party picked up 2 pro-BNP councillor candidates a few days ago and beat them up, and that the police declined to record cases in connection with these incidents. Such incidents may occur repeatedly, so we categorically demand army deployment to ensure that the elections are held in a peaceful and fair way, added Anwar. On Wednesday, the government floated a tender for the construction of the main infrastructure of the Padma Bridge, a government official announced. The tender process was stalled following the corruption allegations brought by the lead financer of the project, the World Bank. The World Bank cancelled its $1.2 billion credit for the Padma Bridge project on the 30th of June last year, saying it is proof of corruption involving Bangladeshi officials, executives of a Canadian firm and individuals. The 6.15-kilometre bridge over the Padma River will connect the country's 19 southwestern districts with the capital Dhaka. The bridge will have road traffic on the upper level and a train system on the lower level. The main bridge structure will have a dual carriageway and provision for the future installation of a broad gauge rail line, as well as other provisions, including gas and telecommunications lines. The government has decided to construct the project from its own funds. The estimated cost of the multi-purpose mega project, which is expected to be completed in 4 years, is around $2.90 billion, according to a tender of the bridge published on Wednesday. In the meantime, some works on the project have already commenced, and approximately 18.46 million takars, which is the equivalent of $250 million US, has been spent to date, the tender said. 68.52 million takars, which is the equivalent of approximately $878 million US, has been allocated for the project for the fiscal period 2013-2014. The BNP has asked the government to stop interfering in the affairs of the Grameen Bank. Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir, who is the acting Secretary General of the BNP, said, "We support the 84 lakh borrowers of Grameen Bank. If we win in the next parliamentary polls, we will restore the bank's previous structure." He said this during a briefing for reporters at the party's Naya Paltan headquarters in the capital on Thursday. Earlier in the morning, Alamgir held a meeting with Nobel laureate Professor Muhammad Yunus, who is also the founder of the Grameen Bank, at the Yunus Centre in Dhaka. Alamgir said no political issues were discussed during the 40-minute meeting, which started around 9 a.m. He added that he had visited Professor Muhammad Yunus to congratulate him on winning the US Congressional Gold Medal. Alamgir also alleged that from the beginning of its tenure, the government has been insulting to and harassing the Nobel laureate. He claimed that the move to split the Grameen Bank was a conspiracy by the government, and he asked the government to use the wisdom of Professor Muhammad Yunus for the greater good of the nation. BNP Chairperson's Foreign Affairs Advisor Sabiuddin Ahmed accompanied Mr Alamgir during the meeting. The meeting was held ahead of the Grameen Bank Inquiry Commission, which has been formed by the government to put forward a set of proposals for restructuring the microcredit organisation. On Wednesday, the British Bangladesh Chamber of Women Entrepreneurs, the BBCW, was launched at a high-profile event at the House of Lords in London. The BBCW is a dynamic not-for-profit organisation established to support British Bangladeshi female entrepreneurs who want to start a business or require additional support in their existing enterprise. It aims to facilitate skills training, knowledge development and financial and business expertise for women entrepreneurs, as well as to provide support and networking opportunities. It will also actively share and celebrate success stories of female entrepreneurs. One of its key objectives is to become a strong campaigning body for female businesswomen and an effective policy influencing organisation. The BBCW will achieve this by working in partnership with local, national and global organisations, governments, education institutions, research bodies and forums to enhance and empower and advocate on issues affecting female businesswomen. The board of directors of the BBCW includes NTV CEO Sabrina Hussain, media relations expert and NTV news presenter Hasina Momtaz, TV producer Dilara Khan, who has her own production company, businesswoman Polly Islam and TV presenter for BBC Asian Network Polly Islam. The launch was hosted by Baroness Paula Uddin, who is also a patron of the BBCW, alongside noted businesswomen from Bangladesh such as worldwide garment exporter Ms Rubbana Haq. High-profile speakers at the launch included Roshanara Ali MP, Saeed Kamal MEP for London and former High Commissioner to Bangladesh Anwar Chowdhury, as well as Anne Main MP, who is also the all-party representative for Bangladesh. Attendees at the event included the who's who of the British and Bangladeshi communities and consisted of representatives from the field of business such as NTV director Mr Mustafa Sarwar, politics and media. Those are your top stories for this week. Thank you for watching and join me again at the same time next week. Allah Hafiz.